suspect you're feeling it a little bit by now. I know I do. This next speaker today is Petty Officer Dean Wyse, gunfire control technician. His job on the ship was to make sure the guns were pointed and shooted in the right direction and hit the target, along with the assistance of the gunner's mates who were in the gun mounts. Dean, come on up here.
Thank you, David, for making this all really happen. As I say, I'm Dean Wyse. I'm a survivor. I was in the after half of the Evans when we got hit. The crew was like a close family of about 270. I was on the ship for a little over 2 years. The ship was recognized as an all-around top battle-ready destroyer and earned an award of the Navy Unit Citation. This was about 2 weeks before the collision. Our ship was a #1 ship. The spotters, we worked with spotters off the coast of Vietnam, and they many times praised us for our timely fire and our accurate fire. And many of them told us that we had saved the lives of many of our military in our either being pinned down or being overrun. During, during normal routine making small talk and with fellow shipmates, common question would be asked, "Where are you from?" The magic answer would be Ohio. At that instant, you would have something in common, and that's a starting point to a great conversation. And we talked about sports and everything going on in Ohio. It's just a little bit like going home, which is with a bunch of homesick sailors, talking about home is #1. And it makes you feel better. When I first met Larry Gracely from Lima, we started talking about Lima Shawnee, one of the top high school teams in this, or schools in this whole state, I believe. We always heard of Lima Shawnee in our news articles and proud of being in northwestern Ohio. Jim Dykes was from Lancaster, Ohio, just south of Columbus, and he was home to one of my heroes, Rex Kern, of course, Ohio State quarterback. OH. Ohio. Thank you. We talk, about Ohio State football all the time, about every conversation. John Sauvey and I discovered our common roots, and he stated he was from Marblehead, which I wasn't sure where that was at. Then he said, well, we're right across the bay from Cedar Point. Oh, yeah, I know exactly where you're at. We had many conversations about Lake Erie, fishing and hunting, and everything to do with, Ohio. It's like going home a little bit. Ed Hess was a chief petty officer from Akron. And, chiefs are kind of different, except Mike, They have a lot of times, their own world. They have their own quarters. So I didn't know much about Chief Hess. And one day we were talking about his hometown, and I said I had a girlfriend that was from, and I gave him the address, and he knew right where it was, so that's like a little bit like going home too. I'll get through this. I'll never forget. We were on the Kearsarge, and our government make sure they didn't make a mistake of, who was killed and who wasn't. And we had roll calls, 3 of them. 74 names were called out, and no one answered. Which I was in the after half, which we didn't realize what had gone on, really. Then we found out 74 of our sailors, including my best friend on the ship and my buddies from Ohio that I knew about, were gone in a matter of just a few minutes. Guys that you just had and ate with at supper, and then all of a sudden they're gone. For many years, I thought I was the only one that survived from Ohio. Then I found Jack. I didn't know Jack Vincent, it was from Ohio, but I knew him, but I guess we did talk about Ohio, and I was thankful to have somebody else from Ohio that survived. I hope this memorial brings some closure to the families that had no bodies, nothing, empty graves. It brings a little closure to me. And I really appreciate it. At first, I was wanting to spend all our money and getting their guy's name on the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C., the wall there, But this, I think, gives me closure, and I hope it does to you guys. My heart goes out to the families. I suffer from survivor's guilt many times, but I feel like if I talk to the survivors and tell them a little bit maybe about their sons and stuff like that, that helps me thinking I got a purpose. Okay, thank you.